One day the world suddenly changed. Monsters began to come out of the various gates that appeared all over the world. At the same time, some people gained extraordinary powers and abilities that surpassed human limits. These individuals are called hunters and begin to risk their lives to fight the monsters that come from within the gate. Then there was a Dungoan gate that appeared in the center of the city, and there were many people gathering. The people said, "Damn, what took so long?" Even the so-called best hunters find this dungeon too difficult. Ah, there's someone coming out of the gate. Then an old man appeared carrying a large sword, and after that, the gate closed. The people who were there immediately cheered, "The gate is closing." The dungeon was successfully completed. Wow! And that old man was a hunter named Park Soin, the one who completed many dungeons that were considered impossible to complete at the age of 60. People called him the legendary hunter. However, one day, Pilsong suddenly disappeared like smoke, and no one saw him again. Only rumors about him remained. And 10 years later, in a room, Wak Pilsong was seen talking to a nurse who was there. He said, "I told you, I'm Wak Pilsong." The nurse sighed and said, "Yes, you're right." Wak Pilsong was annoyed by the nurse's response. He said, "This damn kid, don't you believe me?" The nurse immediately left him. Wak Pilsong shouted, "Hey, where are you going? Come back here." The nurse spoke to her friend and said, "Oh, he's acting up again." Her friend said, "What's wrong?" The nurse said, "You know, he always says that he's Wak Pilsong. This doesn't make sense. How can such a great person be in this remote nursing home?" His friend said, "Well, who knows, right? Same name, similar age. Looks like he used to be an imposter." The nurse said, "Right, that makes sense." Her friend also said, "If I were a hunter, I wouldn't be stuck taking care of the elderly in this remote area." The nurse said, "That's right. How can anyone face a monster afraid of ants?" Her friend said, "I'm going home early." The nurse said, "Let's have a drink after we go home." Then there they saw a man who looked quite old, and the man looked like he was exhausted because he was breathing heavily. The nurse said, "Huh?" Then she ran up to him and she said, "Are you okay?" But when the nurse tried to help him, the man in a shaky tone said, "Run." It turned out that behind him was an ant monster. The nurse was so shocked to see that. She said, "What?" Then the monster immediately bit the head of the man and he said, "Save me." But the monster immediately cut off the man's head. The nurse was very surprised and also felt very scared. The nurse said in a trembling tone, "Don't come any closer." Then Wak Pilsong jumped up, and he immediately stabbed the monster with a knife. The monster was killed by Wak Pilsong very easily. The nurse was shocked by this incident. Wak Pilsong said, "Damn, what are you doing? Stand up if you don't want to die." The nurse said, "Grandpa Pilsong?" Wak Pilsong said, "He's not alone. Take the others and hide." The nurse said, "What can you do, grandfather?" Wak Pilsong said, "I'll do what I can." Then Wak Pilsong left immediately. The nurse said, "Ah, impossible. Is he really Hunter Wak Pilsong? Why is he in a place like this?" Then Wak Pilsong went to look for the origin of the ant monster. He went to a forest, and there he saw a gate appear. The ant monsters came out of the gate one by one. Wak Pilsong said, "How did the association manage to let monsters wander around like this?" Then the ant monsters realized that Wak Pilsong was watching them. The ants immediately gave off a hostile aura to him. Wak Pilsong said, "The bugs found me. I think it's time to stretch this old bone." Then Wak Pilsong immediately lunged at the ants. He stabbed the ant's head, and the ant was killed quickly. Then the other ant monsters tried to attack Wak Pilsong from behind. But Wak Pilsong immediately dodged the attack. Then he said, "Take this, you disgusting insect." And with one slash of a knife, Wak Pilsong managed to kill 4 ants simultaneously. But after he made a move like that, his breath caught, and he started to get tired. He said, "Damn, I'm getting old." Exhausted only after facing a few insects. If only I was 10 years younger. You just can't fight time. Then from the gate appeared a monster that had a huge size. And it was a mantis monster. Wak Pilsong was surprised at the size of the monster. He said, "Are you the leader of the insects? It's so big." The monster unceremoniously attacked Wak Pilsong. Wak Pilsong managed to deflect the attack. But it was also thrown so hard that he hit a rock. Wak Pilsong already felt so overwhelmed he seemed unable to stand up again. The monster began to approach Wak Pilsong slowly. He looked like he wanted to eat Wak Pilsong. Wak Pilsong said, "How dare you bring that disgusting mouth to my face?" Then he made the last effort he could do now. He stabbed the head of the monster. And the monster immediately raised its head again, and he slammed Wak Pilsong into a tree. Wak Pilsong was immediately bleeding from his mouth, but he tried not to let go of his grip on the knife. In his dying condition, he said, "Is it over? It's time to bend it." Then she gave a powerful slash, and he smashed the monster's head. Then it collapsed, and he had defeated the huge mantis monster. Wak Pilsong said, "Hunter Wak Pilsong is not dead." Then he also collapsed immediately. Wak Pilsong said, "Has this old body reached its limit? Dan, if I were 10 years younger, I wouldn't have any trouble fighting these bugs. In the end, as a hunter I can't even die in peace, haha." Then the system said, "Congratulations, the dungeon has been completed. As a reward for completing it, a special reward that describes the target's wish has been given." Wak Pilsong said, "What is this?" "Ha, a special reward." The system said, "God's blessing. The target will receive the blessing of immortality." Wak Pilsong said, "My special gift? I've never heard of it. What exactly is going on?" The system said, "With this blessing, the target will become immune to aging." Then light began to appear around Wak Pilsong's body, and that light made the wrinkles that Wak Pilsong had instantly make him young again. Then the system said, "Gate will disappear soon." And help had arrived. There were people saying, "Over here, the gate is closing." "Someone fainted over there? Quick, get a stretcher." Then I heard someone calling out to him. He said, "Sir, sir, 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 can you hear my voice?" Wak Pilsong began to regain consciousness. He said, "Where am I?" The nurse said, "You're at the hospital in Seoul. You were injured during the outbreak dungeon and were immediately transferred to this place. I would like to ask you a few questions. What is your name?" Wak Pilsong said, "Wak Pilsong, born May 31 XX. The nurse was surprised to hear Wak Pilsong's answer. She said, "What? You said you were born on XX?" Wak Pilsong said, "Are you deaf, miss? How many times do I have to say it?" "That's right, I'm 83. And Wak Pilsong has successfully become young again. The nurse said, Wait, are you really telling me that you're 83 years old?" Sighing, Wak Pilsong said, "How many times do I have to repeat it?" "Yes, that's how old I am." The nurse was very confused by this situation. Wak Pilsong said, "No wonder you're surprised, miss. Don't I look young for my age? I mean, I guess I look 10 years younger, right? The nurse said to herself, "You look 60 years younger than me." Then Wak Pilsong looked at the mirror in front of him. He was shocked after seeing the face he had now. He said, What is this? What happened to my body?" The nurse who saw it said, "Oh my, it looks like this guy hit his head pretty hard." Then the nurse said, "I'll call the doctor. Please wait here for a moment." Wak Pilsong still couldn't believe what had happened to him. He said, "What happened to my body?" Then he remembered what happened before he fainted. Wak Pilsong also said, "So what I saw at that time was not an illusion. I saw people getting skills or artifacts as dungeon rewards, but can you really get a blessing? Especially blessings that ward off aging. This is beyond what I've ever heard. Instead of just standing here, I should go ask for help." Then the sister came back. She said, "Wak Pilsong?" But when she came, Wak Pilsong was no longer in the room. The nurse was confused. She said, Where did he go?" Then Wak Pilsong was now in the center of the city. There he looked at the tall building, and he said, It's been a while. When was the last time I went to the association? Must have been about a decade ago." Then he went into the association building. After entering there, she said, "The association has changed a lot since then." Then he approached a young man who was there. He said, "Turn over, I have business with the association." The man immediately said, "If you plan on coming, you'll have to take a ticket from the machine there and wait your turn." Wak Pilsong was confused. He said, Machine, what is that?" Then Wak Pilsong tried to punch the machine. There he felt very confused. He said, "Really? How do I punch it?" The people in line were annoyed with Wak Pilsong. They said, "What you want?" Then a big man came and grabbed him by the shoulders. Wak Pilsong said, The big man said, "Hey kid, move aside, I'm in a hurry." The people there said, "Isn't that Hunter's C-rank Medusic? He's starting again. That young man is unlucky. He's a troublemaker." Wak Pilsong immediately scolded Medusic. He said, "Hey, young man, don't you see there are people waiting in line behind you? You have to queue like everyone else." Everyone who was there was shocked to see Guak Pilsong being so bold to the big man. Medusik immediately pulled Guak Pilsong's collar and said, "Who is this kid to dare to advise me? How old were you?" Then came a man who had such a creepy aura. The man said, "Stop." Medusik felt so scared after seeing that man coming to him. The man said fighting is prohibited in the association area. The people who were there said, "Hunter S. Rank Park Soin. Is that really him? It's my first time seeing S. Rank in person." Park Soin said in his heart, "These association people. Who would have thought they'd make someone like me, and S. Rank take care of these lowly creatures?" Medusik immediately said, "I'm sorry." The people who were there said, as expected from Park Soin, his existence is no joke, just like they said. "Look at that big arm. Even Medusik looks small next to it." As expected, he's the epitome of masculinity. Park Soin was happy with the compliments they said. He said in his heart, as if I would be happy to hear that. "Well, I guess I am the epitome of masculinity." S. Rank Hunter Park Soin. He enjoyed being the epitome of masculinity. Then Guak Pilsong noticed Park Soin's face and said, "Why do I look familiar?" Park Soin said in his heart, "Who is this little guy?" Guak Pilsong said in his heart, "Where have I seen him before?" Then he said, Park Dabin. "You there could Park Dabin, right?" Park Soin was very surprised. The people there said, "What did he say?" "Did he just call Park Soin Park Dabin?" "Sounds like it." Guak Pilsong said, "Gosh, Dabin, how long has it been since we last met? Boy, you used to have a fresher face, but it seems like time has caught up with you. Boy, can't you avoid time even a little?" The people who were there said, "Did that person just call Park Soin Park Dabin?" "Impossible." "That's right. Because his cute name was something he hated. Hunter S. Rank Park Soin. Secretly used a cooler name a decade ago." Park Soin was embarrassed and annoyed at the same time. He said in his heart, "This kid, how did he know my old name?" Guak Pilsong said, "I have something to ask you." The people there said, "Could it be Park Soin's real name?" Then Park Soin grabbed Guak Pilsong by the collar, and in an angry tone said, "Enough. Dan kid, who are you?" Guak Pilsong smiled at Park Soin's actions. He said, "Haha, you've gotten a little rough since the last time I saw you. But isn't it forbidden to fight here?" Park Soin immediately realized that. He immediately released his grip, and he said, "I got a little carried away. Follow me. Let's go somewhere else. Let me warn you first." Then she looked at Guak Pilsong with an intimidating look, and she said, "Don't even think about running away." Guak Pilsong was surprised by Park Soin's attitude. He said, "Oh my." Then the two of them went to what looked like a sparring ground. Guak Pilsong said, "When did the association build a facility like this? What exactly is this place?" Park Soin said, "It's a room meant for hunters to practice fighting. More importantly, who are you? How do you know that name?" Guak Pilsong sighed and said, "You little punk. It's me, Guak Pilsong. There are some things that make me look like this." Park Soin couldn't believe such an answer. He said, "I don't think you were planning to answer that. She's not an easy person." Then Park Soin unleashed his power, and he said, "I'm trying to settle it peacefully. After a few punches, you'll answer everything." Then he lunged straight at Guak Pilsong. Guak Pilsong dodged the attack very easily, and he casually said, "Why are you so sensitive in your old age?" Park Soin was surprised by that. He said in his heart, dodging my attack so easily." Guak Pilsong said, "As you get older, you should become calmer." Park Soin said, "The more I look at you, the more curious I am about who you really are." Guak Pilsong was surprised by him. Park Soin said, "Enough fooling around." Then he used a skill, Beast Transformation, Werewolf. His body was now bigger and had an even scarier look. Park Soin also said, "From now on, I will seriously face you. Let's see if you can avoid it too." Then he lunged at Guak Pilsong very quickly, and she immediately gave him an attack. That attack looked so powerful that it made the floor crumble. Guak Pilsong managed to withstand the attack, but he was knocked back by the attack. Guak Pilsong said, "Impossible, this guy." Park Soin came back, and he said, "This will hurt a little." Then he gave a slash created from his claws. Guak Pilsong managed to block the attack, but he bounced far enough to hit the wall hard. Dust covered the area of the impact. Park Soin felt that he had succeeded in overwhelming Guak Pilsong. He said, "Oops, I didn't realize I might have gone a little too far." Then with a smile, Guak Pilsong said, "It seems we can't solve it with words." Park Soin was very surprised to see that Guak Pilsong was still okay. Guak Pilsong began to strengthen his footing. Then, very quickly he lunged at Park Soin. Park Soin was so scared, he said, This is unbelievable. My attack as an S rank didn't even make him falter." Then with a smile she said, "This might hurt a little." And he hit Park Soin hard right in the face. Park Soin hit the floor and the impact made a hole in the floor. Then Park Soin just collapsed. Guak Pilsong also saw Park Soin, who never stood up again. It seemed like he had made the person unconscious. Guak Pilsong was worried about Park Soin's condition. He said, "Is it possible that I—" "Too much. He's not dead, is he?"